Something about that woman must sing you, girl, makes my heart sing. Why do we stay together? We can't wait forever. It's too late. Only heaven can wait. Hey, good morning. I'm back, y'all, with these comments and shout out to Sister Roberta Flack this morning. Um, I love that song. We know that it's all over, still we haven't said goodbye. Ooh, pretending life is wonderful, pretending you and I. So why do we stay together? We can't wait forever, ever's too late. Only heaven can wait. Waiting for love won't make it happen. Crying for love don't mean you care. Oh no, listen. Only when love has ended can a heart be mended. Ever's too late. Only heaven can wait for love. Okay, I'm done with that. Thank y'all. All right, listen. Julie Burdock, this is what Julie says. Julie says, I really wish somebody could write something about narcissistic fathers and the parental alienation. I know so many who abuse their children in this way. How can it be prevented? How can one deal with this when it does happen? And that is so true. That's the situation that I am. A lot of men don't realize especially black men, they think is they're being a man. I'm just being a man when it's totally abusive. They think that being a man is being a bully. Being a man is not being assertive, it's being aggressive, dominating. And those are not the attributes, in my opinion, of a well-developed man. So what happens is you have a lot of men out here producing children all over the place. Um, they don't want to have any accountability to how they spread their seeds everywhere. And then when you have a situation where um, these kids are not, when they starting to grow up, and maybe the father doesn't like the behavior that the child is, exuding. The dad really don't have no love for the kid. They'll cut them off, and especially in Islam, because they'll tell you if your kids leave the Honorable Elijah Muhammad or the teachings of the Nation of Islam, cut them off. Um, and I think that's extremely unhealthy. How can you just cut off somebody that you help produce? Man is supposed to be the elevated species. That's what animals do. They end up living like that with their offspring. That's not something a human or an evolved species is supposed to do with their offspring. And then you blame the mother for everything that is happening wrong with the child, um, even though you planted your seed in that soil and you didn't make anything but a financial contribution to that child's upbringing. And you think just because you made the financial upbringing, the financial responsibility, then everything is cool. But that's so far from the truth. You know, if you're not allowing that daughter to talk to you about how she feels, if you're not allowing that daughter and you trying to be a dictator to her, like you try to be a dictator to her mother, um, that's not a healthy relationship to have with your daughter. If you're not making your daughter feel special, or if you calling your daughter names and all that kind of stuff like that, you are just as bad and or just as worse as the mother because you want to qualify yourself as a leader and the head of a household. So you are domineering and you're abusive and you're a bully and you think that's the way to raise your family. That's disgusting. Okay, Bianca says this is so heartbreaking. For almost 7 years, I watched my ex-partner treat his children exactly as you have described. It left me with a bitter taste in my mouth. When I saw it at first, I thought all I experienced was different and working parent style approach. As with their mother, his children were put on another conflict of loyalty. When I decided to leave, when I see them now, I hardly recognize the eldest. It is like she is a completely different person who has no clue who she is. The youngest has severe social anxiety issues and trouble with trusting anyone. This behavior in both children is far less apparent when they are with their mother, the woman who has always been angry with me for hijacking daddy's love from her children with my own two children, whom, by the way, were severely traumatized by my ex-partner too. And luckily, getting over this quite well. I hope that one day they will see the truth and act accordingly too. These are people who have been abused and their stories of what has happened to them involved with these relationships. One powerful explanation of the unfortunate confusion I keep committed to continue to learn and digest as much information as possible throughout my older years along with my journey of life. When I was 17 years old receiving my first tattoos, I could never have realized that this I have I could not have realized this what I just read was so relevant throughout my misunderstood journey called life. I feel this is a real blessing to be able to understand why I am me. As my mouth hit the floor, I now have an understanding of what effects this behavior had on me. What effects this behavior had on me. The shaking and the emotions ran all over me. Finally, answers of truth can now take hold of the future of now knowing it was not me. Thank you with all the love and blessings greater than the air. I I knew unconditional love as part of me. Thank God I am able to give it willingly to the beautiful people that mean so much to me. Thank you for this again. Okay, then we got Tracy. Tracy says, um, as long as I was there, at least I could children, protect them. Well, that all ended up so badly for me and my children because when we did end up apart and going through the worst custody battle I could ever imagine, oh, going through the custody battle with a narcissist is, in my, from what I hear, it's pretty freaking rough. From what I know, um, let me keep it moving. My children have been physically and sexually abused at this point as as well by that monster, and still it's me who's being put out on trial yet again because our narc is claiming he's hurt so from being alienated from my children. He's also claiming it's me who's mentally unstable. It's the hardest and scariest fight I have ever been through, and I'm so scared for my children and even myself at this point. The legal system never seems to care at all what he's done to the kids, and they are only 2 and 4. They listen to all his lies and seemingly couldn't care less that this is has nothing to do with me not caring for my children. It's completely the opposite, and that's me doing everything in my power to save them and protect them. I'm honestly so afraid now I have no way to accurately describe the feelings the three of us have to live through every single day. This is if your kid has been sexually abused, Tracy. What you should do is get in touch, since you're having this problem anyway, with a lawyer, and then to get your doctor medical records and stuff and present them, because there is no way in hell, I believe, that uh, um, um, unless you're extremely poor, like most of us, no, I shouldn't say, there is no way, I believe, that a judge in his right mind will grant this person custody, or even that custody has to be supervised. If I can remember correctly, I know it's from state to state, but if there's any sexual activity involved in the abuse, or any um, you know, corporal punishment, beating them down and stuff like that, those are all things that have to be supervised visitations. So that has to be presented to the court, and I definitely recommend that you do that. I really do, because you're gonna be in a lost cause if you don't.